I was talking to them.
Oh.
And you too. Anyway, hi, I'm James. I am the Mad Vizier of Cubyria.
I'm Keith. I'm the Grand Architect of Cubyria.
And we're here to show you the game. The theme of the game is that Cubyria is ruled by the Mad Vizier. And the Mad Vizier is a complete dictator with all the money in the world, and all he wants to do is build monuments himself. He has decided to commission a palace. And instead of hiring one architect, he's hired 2 architects, or up to 5, depending on how many players they are. Everyone's an architect. We're all working together on the same structure. There's only one structure in the game, but we're competing for points. And the points represent the favor of the vizier. And whoever wins is showered in gold and glory, and whoever loses winds up in the dungeons or beheaded. Or
that's right.
Yes.
Or worse.
Or worse.
Yes.
Worse than beheaded.
Worse than beheaded.
We'll skip past that. What is this, Warhammer? Come on. All right, anyway, the best way to think of Cubyria is it's like 3D competitive Tetris. The gameplay basically progresses as drawing cards and then using the cards to play your components onto the board. There is a one-to-one relationship between cards and components. The main kind of component in the game are rooms. Rooms are these open-topped cubic or multi-cube pieces. Every room has a base point value, which is here in the corner in the upper left. The value that you get for placing that room is multiplied by how high on the structure you place it. We use the American convention of the ground floor is the first floor, and then above that is the second floor, etc. That's just to make the math easier, because no one wants to multiply by ground.
I want to multiply by ground.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
What's 5 times ground?
Ground.
That would make for a really boring game.
It really would. It would. That's why I don't design games.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah, the vizier, he also has some preferences about where he wants his rooms, right? And that is reflected here by the floor preferences. Most of the rooms, like the guardrobe or the red hall, can be placed anywhere you like them. That's what those 4 green pluses represent. But some of them, like the crypt, he only wants the crypt on the first floor. You can, in fact, play any room on any floor that you want, but if you put it where the vizier doesn't want it, you get a point penalty. You get negative the value of that room. There are occasionally good reasons strategically to do that, particularly if you are trying to support a high-value room. In general, the more complicated the room is and the larger it is, the more points it's worth, but the more difficult it is to place higher on the structure. And all rooms have to be completely supported by rooms beneath them, with the exception of balconies, which I'll get to in a second. The building rules are really quite simple once you get used to it. The logic behind it is that there needs to be a contiguous path from every room to every other room in the palace. And so most of the time what that means is you are going to be connecting rooms door to door. You only need to make one door-to-door connection. So for example, in this case, I blocked off this door, but that's completely fine. As long as there's one connection, then it's a valid connection.
Well, you can get from room to room.
It continues the path. That's right. There's also secret doors. Secret doors look like little brickwork knocked in. Secret doors can connect to regular doors. They can connect to blank walls, and they can connect to other secret doors. So they're more versatile and easier to use and very helpful in that way. There are gallery windows. The vizier has very refined aesthetic tastes, and he doesn't want his windows to be blocked by anything. He can't block them. You can have windows looking down onto balconies like this.
That's cool.
However, that does not create a path between the two. The end result of that is that no matter how complicated or big the building gets, you never have to think about what's on the inside. That's already played and done. And so all you're thinking about is what is on the outside, where your plays are, and where it's available. So for example, here's a door. I'm going to add this door here. And then because there's an open door there, you can also add that door there. So we'll get to building upward. In fact, we'll get to it right now.
How do you go upwards, Jim? I want to go upstairs.
All right, well, I'll tell you.
Thank you.
Stairs allow you to take a stair token, like Keith has, and place it in a room. Not that. That's not a room.
That's not a room.
No, that's storage.
Got it.
So you place it in a room, and then you can place that room on top of another room, and that creates a vertical path between the two. Now, once you've done that, then you've opened up the potential to build on that floor as well. So for example, I could take this secret door that I have, I could connect it to this door here, and that's a valid play. I don't need stairs there because there's already a path that goes from this room up the stairs into this room and then onward into that room.
Hey, Jim,
Yeah.
does it matter like where I put the stair?
Why, yes, it does. Stairs only connect the room they're in to the room directly below them. They don't continue downward or upward. They just are a connection between two rooms vertically. Unlike rooms, which are multiplicative, right? You multiply by the height. Roofs are only additive. So you basically just take the base point total of the roof, and then you add the number of floors onto which it caps.
So that's on the third floor or the fourth floor?
It caps the third floor.
It caps the third
So
floor.
the base point value is 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, okay.
There's two other components that you need to know about. One is support columns. Support columns, they can be placed absolutely anywhere on the board that you want them. So they're complete wildcards, but they do not create a path through them. So they're really useful for holding up other pieces, for example, like that, right? Or supporting your roofs to get an extra point out of them like that. But you could not, for example, you could not play something like that in isolation because even if you have stairs here, there's no path between this room and that room because you can't have a path through support columns.
Up or down? What can
Up
I
or
walk
down,
through?
or no,
Can't
or
walk
horizontally. No.
Okay.
It's like a block. And then finally, our external staircases. There's the straight ones and the curvy ones. They both work exactly the same way. The best way to think of these, they're very similar to rooms in that in order to place them, you need to be able to continue the path. So you think of them as though they have a door at the top and the bottom. When you play a stair, any room that it's attached to is worth double. And if you manage to string them together, let's say that you do something like this, okay, and then we're to connect this room here. So now you've got a double stairway path from those rooms. So both of these rooms would be quadrupled now. So it's doubled, and that continues onward. You have another stair there. If you're to connect that, it would be times 8. So to play this game skillfully, the way that, is to start to spot where your multipliers are. On the board, there's a multiplier. So these pink trees are, the Vizier hates these trees. And so if you place a room there, it demolishes those trees, and that makes that room worth double. Playing skillfully means making good use of your multipliers. Because also, I should mention, you don't play one room at a time. In all versions of the game, you're going to be playing several rooms at a time. And so that's where the excitement and the enjoyment comes in, is figuring out how to make good combinations and combine them with what's already on the board to maximize your point total.
Okay. So can I play a support column in front of a gallery window?
Yes, you can.
Oh,
yes,
that's okay.
Yeah. So support columns can go absolutely anywhere. It's kind of like, you can see through them. So
okay,
it's okay in that case. Yeah.
Now, what about the edge of the board? What if I have stairs going off the edge of the board?
Right. Okay. Yes, you cannot do that. You don't have to connect both sides. If you want, you can connect them to one side only. Okay. So, for example, if you were to just play these two rooms, then you would get your double for that, but you would leave that open for someone else to come along later and place a room there, and then they would get the double as well. If you play them in such a way that they could never possibly be completed on the other side, that's not allowed. Balconies are the one room in the game that does not need to be fully supported. And in fact, there are a few where you get bonus points if they're not fully supported, like this one, the Juliet balcony. If you place that there, so that's overhanging a big empty space, you get bonus points for the empty space that's hanging over. The rule is basically that all the squares that are balcony squares, which means any square that has a balcony rail, any of them can be unsupported as long as more than half of the pieces squares are supported. So that bit is overhanging, but these bits are still
that brings up an interesting question.
Yeah.
So if I played this, would I get points for the empty space below it?
Not this one. This one doesn't have that bonus. Okay. Yeah. Only this one and the the bridge tower here are the only ones that have that bonus.
Oh, okay.
And that's for the exact reason that you think. It's basically to try to encourage you to figure out how to span these over massive empty spaces like that, right? So if you were to play that there, you would get 1, 2, 3, 4 squares worth of bonus points, which is like 16 bonus points because this is 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are basically 2 versions of the game. There's the basic game or the introductory game, which is really great for getting used to the building rules, the basic building rules, and a lot of kids just love to play it just like that too. Kids as young as 8 really enjoy this game. In that version, there's an open set of cards like this. You also draw 4 for yourself. Between these 8 cards, on your turn, you can play up to 5.
Okay, so you got 4 in my hand.
Yeah,
and that's
4
like
in your
a
hand,
pool, or
and that's it's a common pool. Exactly.
Common pool.
Yeah. And then as soon as your turn is over, whatever you've played is replaced from that deck, and then the next person goes, and you go round and round until there's no cards left.
And that's the basic game.
And that's the basic.
And that's 2 to 5 players, all the same amount of cards. Okay.
Yeah. There's a yes.
There's a yeah.
There's a yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll cut that bit out, I'm sure.
No, that's staying.
Oh God. And so now I'm going to explain just the small number of additions that you need for the complete core game. You may have noticed, as we were showing you these various cards, that some of these have these little glyphs right here, right? And there's actually 8 different glyphs. These are called affinities. And affinities represent kind of the style or the function of a component, of a room or a roof. So the tortured chamber has the death and the security affinity. The clock tower has the art or music affinity. The grand apartment of the vizier has the treasure or the luxury affinity, right? So the vizier likes it when when components are connected that have similar affinities. Here, for example, is the alchemy lab and the tesseract. They both have the magic or sort of knowledge affinity, right? If you were to place these in contact with each other, you get bonus points. And it works slightly differently for rooms and for roofs. For rooms, you just basically get a bonus point of that room's own base point value for every affinity that you connect with. In this example, we have the alchemy lab. It has 2 affinities. It has this magic affinity, and it also has, I don't have the kitchen card, but the kitchen has a water affinity, which matches the alchemy lab. So if you were to play these 3 together like this, then the alchemy lab would get 2 bonuses, 2 affinity bonuses of its own value. The kitchen, because it only matches one of those affinities, would get a bonus of 1.
Okay, so the alchemy lab is 4, and then we get 2 bonuses. That's plus 4, we're at 12.
Yes, exactly.
And then the kitchen is 5 with 1 affinity, that's 10. So now we're at 22.
Yeah, exactly.
I can do math.
Yeah, nice. Well, very nice. Yeah. Roofs are even more powerful with affinities. So when you have a roof that matches an affinity, you basically double the value, the total value of that room. So the tesseract is 8 points, 9, 10, because it's on the first floor. And because you've matched the affinity, it's doubled to 20 points.
Woof.
Yeah. So that's how you play skillfully. You're figuring out these multipliers.
Match affinities, build high.
Yes, exactly. Yep. The last part of the complete core game are these whimsy cards.
Oh, these are my favorite.
Yeah. Now, the vizier is constantly coming up with like crazy dumb ideas that he wants for his palace, and he's kind of jabbering to each architect individually. And so what that means is that every architect from the very beginning of the game, they get 1 whimsy card, which they share with nobody. You keep it hidden. Nobody knows what it is. This basically works as your individual building goal. And if you manage to achieve your whimsy card before anyone else, then your point total for that entire round, anything that you do in that turn, is doubled. And then every whimsy card is collected from all the architects, The deck is reshuffled, and a new Whimsy card is passed out.
Whoa! So I could be working towards a Whimsy.
Yes.
Somebody else gets their Whimsy,
and you're screwed. Yep.
I got to start all over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
with another plan.
Gazump the other architects. Yes, exactly.
Well, that's cool.
So that creates a little bit of a thump of a kind of a rhythm and a pressure to the game as well, because if you've got a good affinity, then you're hoping to be able to.
No, did they get burned or they just get shuffled back in?
They get shuffled back in. Okay. Yeah. So that's the other.
Come back up.
Yes, because it's Whimsy, like it's insane, right? He might he might give the same idea to another architect right after someone else has done it before. Yeah. Connect 3 components with the luxury and water affinities.
Do you have to play all the affinities at once, or can you build on an affinity that's there with that card?
You can build on affinities that are already on the board.
So that's the one.
Yes, that is the one thing that I forgot to mention. As long as a room is not completely covered, right? As long as you can see some part of the floor through the top, then that affinity is still active, even if you don't play it. I could potentially, for example, play the Alchemy Lab and connect it to those. And because there's a matching affinity, I would get the affinity bonus for the Alchemy Lab, even though I wouldn't get any score for the kitchen because it's already been played to the board. So you can keep an eye out for affinities that are already there on the board, and you can make use of them as well as you play. Again, the multipliers are what can make this game explode. It can be extremely swingy sometimes. The record that we have so far is that one player one time got 204 points in a single turn. Wow. And that was just, affinities, high up, connected by staircases, and also solving his Whimsy card.
Right.
All in one turn. And
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. That is the complete game.
Great.
And now we're gonna
play a game.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back and we're gonna play a game. Thanks.
Thanks very much.